Heyo, and what's up, gang? Welcome back once again to the SledgeHammer Wrestling Show right here on SledgeHammer TV. We got breaking news right now on Brock Lesnar's first title defense, the name of the brand new WWE pay-per-view, and the date has been revealed. And we are here to talk about it right here, right now, on the SledgeHammer Wrestling Show, baby.
The SledgeHammer Wrestling Show.
Alright, so before we get into our top story about Brock Lesnar's first title defense, because I'm not going to be able to do that with a straight face, and you'll see why when we get to it if you haven't already read the news yourself today. But I want to talk a little bit about Jinder Mahal. And why do I want to talk about Jinder Mahal? Well, because it's been a few weeks now and I've had time to digest the situation, and I've looked at things from a few different perspectives, and I've listened to some of my favorite podcasters and I've heard their points of view on the situation, and they did have some valid points, and it made me think of things in a different light when it comes to Jinder Mahal. Now, that does not mean I am a fan in any way of Jinder Mahal. I do, however, appreciate the effort on the part of creative and the courage of them to do something different. There is good and there is bad in the situation with Jinder Mahal, and I want to highlight some of those things right now. And as I said, the main thing is that they're trying something new, and they're not being afraid to go out of their comfort zone and do something that they're not used to doing with somebody that, by all means, should not be doing it at all. It should not be in that situation whatsoever. But he also cut some great mic work, man. This guy cut 2 really fantastic promos 2 weeks in a row, highlighting the fact that he's better than us and that he could speak however many languages, and his family's wealth and everything they've accumulated, and how the American fans don't like anything that's not American, and it's a very tried and true heel tactic, and it is both good and bad. And the reason why it's bad is that the evil foreigner angle, that stereotype is kind of played out, and it doesn't do anybody any favors in today's day and age, where the line of racism and like terrorism and all that stuff, that it's all kind of bled together, and it makes things very uncomfortable nowadays. And I'm not saying you shouldn't push that envelope, but look what happened when you tried this exact thing with Muhammad Hassan, and you pushed the angle too far to the point where sponsors and networks were threatening to not carry SmackDown anymore. Like, we've done this before, and hopefully they learn from their mistakes and they don't push it too far. But the racist overtones and the terrorist thing, and playing in the fact that he's Punjabi, like, it doesn't need to be that way. I just wish they could have went about it in a different heel character. Like, it doesn't have to be about his race. He's coming off as like how JBL came off. Like, remember when JBL did his whole heel turn when he was first coming up? He came off like a big white racist, and it didn't look good on anybody, and it was just made for some uncomfortable moments on TV. It's just not a line that I like when they tiptoe on. I just don't like it. And the biggest reason why this is not so much a bad idea, it makes the idea bad, is that it's all financially motivated. With the loss of the great Khali, they don't have any superstars that they could market in that part of the world, in the Middle East and that whole section of the world. They revere the great Khali. The man's like a god. So when the WWE went there, they made a lot of money just based off of the great Khali. They don't have that guy. So this is an attempt to keep their footprint on the market in India by having a valid and relevant star of that persuasion. The problem is the fact that this guy's Canadian. He's not even yeah, he speaks the language, and that is his descent, and his parents might be from there and whatever, but the guy is from Canada. He's not even from the Middle East, and we're stupid Americans booing this guy who's actually Canadian just because he's speaking a different language and has a heavy accent. So it makes us look stupid in a way as well. Not that it should have any bearing on them marketing him in India. It's just like the whole angle is being sold is not what he actually even is. So, and the same for the Bollywood boys. The Singh brothers, who, now have been attached to Jinder Mahal. And the rumors of this stable now actually becoming a thing, and then bringing a fourth member in from NXT. I forget the kid's name at the time. But, bringing a stable into the mix to get talents over is never a bad move with me. So I initially came off on Jinder Mahal just based off of the fact that he doesn't deserve what he's getting. And not because we've called him a steroid freak and that he's juiced up, and not because of any of these reasons, but it just... let me not try to... Gonna continue to try not to curse on this channel. It just craps. I hope that's okay. All over the wins and loss records of superstars. Like, growing up, watching wrestling, like, you always kind of knew who your number one contenders were and things of that nature, because these are the guys that win. The Ricky Steamboats and the Randy Savages and the Bret Harts and the Shawn Michaels. These guys went out there and won. Razor Ramon, he went out there and won. He didn't go out there and lose every week on Monday Night Raw like Jinder Mahal. He's been a perennial loser. He's been nothing more than a glorified jobber. He was a member of 3MB, for Christ's sake. And now, just because he's moved to SmackDown, he wants a title shot and he's granted entry into that match. He didn't even win a match to gain entry into that match. You need to establish the fact that wins matter. Even though they don't, but it just kills the legitimacy. I'm struggling not to curse, that's why we're getting lots of awkward pauses. It kills the legitimacy of the whole entire sport, no matter what. It's just killing wrestling the way they're doing it. The same thing goes for Rusev. As much as I love Rusev, this guy shows up on SmackDown and he's like, I want a title shot or I'm moving back to Bulgaria. Who the hell do you think you are? What was the last thing you did? You were in a team with Jinder Mahal, who now has more momentum than you, and you cut your hair, and you were handsome Rusev. Now you're going to come to SmackDown after losing constantly on Raw over the last 6 months, or more than that, a year, because you've been hurt the last 6 months, and you've done nothing to earn your title shot. You're just demanding title shots. Charlotte shows up. She's demanding title shots while having to do absolutely nothing, and gets handed a match against the champion. If you beat the champ, you're the number one contender, and she beats the champ. It's nonsensical booking, and Jinder Mahal is prime example of that. He's done nothing but loss after loss, putting over other talents, being an enhancement talent for the company, and now you want to position him in this situation. So that's where I was coming from, and yes, it makes a lot of sense, and all those points are absolutely valid. But what is also cannot get lost on that they are trying something different, and it's not going to last long. And the best thing that can come out of this is that we get some kind of a new heel stable. But the fact that Jinder and these guys are going to be booked in this evil, anti-American thing, it's just played out. And they could just be bad guys, be pompous, rich assholes who just think they're better than us because they got money, like the $1 Million Man. Don't be walking around going, oh, you don't like me because I'm not American. You don't like me because I have an accent. You don't like me because I speak languages. You're making it racist. Make it more class warfare, because that's what Americans give a shit about anyway, money. You have more money than me? I don't like you. I don't like you now. You get to have fancy cars and I don't. I bust my ass just like you. But you make more money than me? I don't like you. That's the American way. That's the way we all are. Envy is what this country's all about. So showcase Jinder Mahal and his buddies in that light. Going out, nightlife, clubbing with beautiful ladies, sitting in jacuzzis, 5-star hotels, flying first class because he comes from wealth. That's where you go with Jinder Mahal. And I hope that's what they're going to do. So, basically, we shouldn't hinder Jinder, everybody. And I know that sounds funny coming out of my mouth with my accent, but we shouldn't. We shouldn't hinder him whatsoever. We should give the poor guy a chance to do something with what he's given. And who knows, maybe he'll prove himself to be a hidden gem. Because they have to have kept him around this long for some reason. I mean, he's not terrible in the ring, but there's just nothing to him. So now they're giving him something to be. Let's see where that ends up. But now, to our top story. As ridiculous as this may sound, this is actually going around. Coming to us from SEScoops.com. Brock Lesnar's first title defense revealed with a brand new pay-per-view and a brand new name. Brock Lesnar will defend his Universal Championship on July the 9th, 2017 in Dallas at the American Airlines Center at an all-new WWE pay-per-view event called Great Balls of Fire. Goodness gracious. Great Balls of Fire? That's what you are calling a WWE pay-per-view? You are actually going to have the word balls in your title. Great Balls of Fire. How are they going to make that work? My inner soul hopes to God that this is a troll of some sort. And that they have some... But there's like an official video. The American Airlines Center has a tweet. If you go on Twitter and look for it, at AA Center, and I'll read it to you right here. Just announced, Brock Lesnar defends his title when the WWE returns to Dallas on July 9th. Pre-sale Thursday, May 4th at 10 a.m. On sale officially Friday, May the 5th at 10 a.m. as well. And this was tweeted at 11 a.m. this morning. And accompanied by a video with an official WWE package calling this thing Great Balls of Fire. I can't even process that quick enough to make a joke. Because that is a joke in and of itself. All of the lineage of pay-per-views out there, especially ones that are held in and around the summertime, and instead of going to the well and pulling out something that the fans hold dear, or taking something that you've already used, like the Great American Bash, or Starrcade, or, hell, Bash at the Beach, any of these summer-themed titles would have been 1,000 million trillion billion Sicilian times better than Great Balls of Fire. I don't even want to talk about it. I don't even want to say it. Great. Let's continue reading what this guy's report says here. Here we go. Great Balls of Fire. Unless the verified social media accounts from Dallas's American Airlines Center are trolling everyone for some reason, this does appear to be the name of the new July pay-per-view. It looks as though Great Balls of Fire will be a Raw exclusive pay-per-view, as it should, because Raw has been balls. So maybe it will be appropriate. As it currently stands, the plan is to limit co-branded shows to the big four pay-per-views. Well, that doesn't sound accurate, as Payback is a somewhat co-branded pay-per-view, but that is the fault of the Superstar shakeup and not the fault of the WWE, but we'll see what happens. There's a little update here. The WWE has now confirmed the new pay-per-view name on their event listings page. I have to go see this. Here we are. WWE.com. WWE Great Balls of Fire. What a ridiculous name for a pay-per-view. In the preemptive poster here, we got Brock Lesnar, we got Roman Reigns, and we got Finn Balor. So that's going to lead everybody to speculate that we're going to get Roman versus Lesnar or Balor versus Lesnar. I guess we'll have to wait and see, because the way things are going, it certainly looks like I'm not going to give a damn about Great Balls of Fire. How could they name a pay-per-view after a 1950s classic song? It's so out of touch and so irrelevant and so just out of the blue. Like, what is that name? Holy Christ. Anyway, it's been a real slow news week otherwise. The only other thing I guess we could talk about is I talked about a little bit on the Payback preview and predictions, but the deal with Anthem Sports and the WWE for the rights to the Broken Gimmick is currently underway or supposedly already wrapped up, and we could expect to see Broken Matt Hardy as early as Monday, if not at the pay-per-view this Sunday, which I'm not looking forward to. For more on that, check out that video. I will link it in the little doodad exclamation point up above and in the description below. And other than that, what do we got? We got Kenny Omega's kind of pissed at Seth Rollins for stealing his move, but I really don't care about that too much because, moves are moves, and, I don't like the fact that he took or was inspired by Kenny Omega's move instead of coming up with something on his own. I think Seth Rollins could have just went back to the curb stomp. I don't know why that's been banned. This very safe move to hit if you know what you're doing, which all WWE superstars should. But there's that. As I'm scrolling down here, Brie Bella's still waiting to pop. We don't got Baby Birdie just yet. That's it. We're going to call it on that, because there's nothing better that I could say than Great Balls of Fire. Coming to the WWE this July 9th, 2017, a Raw exclusive pay-per-view about balls that they're going to set on fire. Thank you so much for tuning back into the channel. This has been the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show right here on the Sledgehammer TV YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Give me a like if you enjoyed the show. Go back and watch everything else on the channel. Tons and tons of great wrestling stuff. I want to thank you so much for subscribing. If you have not done so, please feel free to hit that red box with the word subscribe in it, and then hit the notification bell. Be part of the notification squad so that you will always be ready and up to the minute, right to the very second as the video goes up. You will be notified that it is there. Also, do not forget to check out our Patreon account. Patreon.com. You can support us there. And also the Audio Wrestling Show, which is available on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and at Podbean.com. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I am Nick Nightmare. With me, as always, is Blue the Snowball Microphone, and I am out of here.